The court is back in session regarding the preliminary examination concerning Miss Irene Whitehead. Miss Whitehead is before the court here today for preliminary examination regarding 3 separate cases where the people are required to present evidence to this court to establish probable cause that the crimes charged have been committed and probable cause to believe that those crimes occurred. The court has heard testimony here today that the defendant was interviewed at the Kent County Sheriff Department Detective Bureau on November 25, 2025. The court heard testimony that the defendant was read her Miranda rights and voluntarily agreed to submit to an interview and answer questions and gave a written statement. That testimony and the defendant's answers and admissions are properly before the court, and the court has received that testimony without objection and is legally admissible. In case number D2600140FY, the court heard testimony, accepts the testimony exhibits regarding 2-month-old Leonard Whitehead, male, date of birth July 22, 2021, date of death September 25, 2021, and that the death occurred at 2203 15 Mile Road, Algoma Township, Kent County, Michigan. The court heard testimony from Dr. Start, who testified, as supported by the autopsy report concerning Leonard Whitehead, exhibit number 1, that the cause of death was asphyxia by smothering, and the manner of death was by homicide. The defendant, through other testimony, was identified here in open court as the mother of Leonard Whitehead, who admitted, after being Mirandized on November 25, 2025, admitted, pursuant to a Mirandized interview, that Leo died the same way as Riley. Words to the fact that I held a blanket over his head. Words to the fact that my intention was for him to die. Words to the fact that she admitted killing Leonard. The court concludes that there is sufficient and or intentionally caused serious physical harm to Leonard Whitehead and did cause Leonard's death by homicide. So therefore, regarding case number D2600140FY, involving 2-month-old Leonard Whitehead, the court does find that there is probable cause and binds the defendant over on charges of homicide, felony murder, and child abuse in the first degree. In case number D2503486FY, the court heard testimony and accepts that testimony regarding 2-year-old Riley Whitehead, female, date of birth June 9, 2023, date of death 9/3/2025, which occurred at 341 South Allen Street, Cedar Springs, Michigan, Kent County, Michigan. And that Dr. Stark testified, and his testimony was supported by the autopsy report of Riley Whitehead, exhibit number 2, that the cause of death was asphyxia by smothering, and manner of death was by homicide. The defendant was identified here in open court concerning the death of Riley, and Ms. Whitehead, the mother, admitted, pursuant to a Mirandized interview, that she put a blue bag on Riley's mouth and held the bag there for a couple of minutes. She stated her intention was that 2-year-old Riley die. She admitted the killing. The court heard testimony from Deputy Eric Jordan, who testified that he thought it was strange that the defendant, Miss Whitehead, said she was recording her kids, or Riley, to better document what was happening for the doctors. And the court received exhibits number 10 and 11 and watched as a child was grasping for a breath of air and hanging on to life, and the mother is videotaping her child. The court concludes that there is sufficient evidence that the defendant, Mother Irene Whitehead, did knowingly and or intentionally cause serious physical harm to Riley Whitehead and did cause Riley's death by homicide. Regarding case number D25-03486-FY involving 2-year-old Riley Whitehead, the court finds probable cause and binds this matter over on the charges of homicide, felony murder, and child abuse first degree. In case number D26-00139-FY, regarding Kina Whitehead, female, date of birth February 14, 2020, the court heard testimony regarding a August 26, 2020 episode where the Kent County Sheriff's Department and Township Fire Departments were dispatched to 2203 15 Mile Road, Algoma Township, Kent County, Michigan, to an infant not breathing. Miss Irene Whitehead stated that her baby was not breathing because her 6-month-old Kina was sleeping wrapped up in a blanket in her crib. The defendant admitted through an interview after being Mirandized that the night that Kina had a blanket in her crib around her head, it was her intent. She stated in so many words, "I wanted her to die." In the morning, Kina was still breathing a little. The defendant admitted during the interview that when she realized Kina was still breathing, words to the effect, "I was mad because Kina didn't die." Miss Irene Whitehead further admitted, "I kept putting Kina in the hospital knowing she was a healthy baby girl." And then finally, Miss Whitehead testified, "She created breathing episodes by putting my hand over her mouth." Words to the effect, "I wanted to kill her." The court is satisfied that there is sufficient evidence before the court to find probable cause and binds the defendant over on the charge of child abuse second degree, in that Irene Whitehead did knowingly or intentionally commit an act likely to cause serious physical harm to Kina Whitehead by repeatedly impeding the child's ability to breathe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Kelly, does Ms. Whitehead wish to waive circuit court arraignment?
Yes, sir.
There's a form right in front of you at the lectern. If you'd please grab 3 forms for the 3 separate cases.
I certainly will.
Thank you so much. Mr. Early, anything further before the court?
No, thank you.
Anything further, Ms. Kelly?
I don't believe so. We've talked about the discovery issue. We're working that out. I appreciate the court's assistance.
Thank you so much. Thank you to both parties. Thank you.